All right, everybody. Welcome to the lunch break here at Fish North Georgia. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic today. I see a few of you already in the comment section. You guys are absolutely awesome. Casey, Doug, and Tyler. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everybody is not working too hard today. It is hump day, Wednesday. It is time to start looking at the weekend, right? And the weekend is in view. And so, with that, we're going to do this show today and kind of cover a few things. I want to kind of go back over a little bit of what we heard last night. Got a couple of questions for you guys about the day and some things that popped up even before I went to air that I didn't even expect to be talking about. So, again, real quick, let's go ahead with it. Coleman, Jeff, let me go ahead and hit this banner. Toys for Tots right there. Again, Toys for Tots, December 6th at Laurel Park. Guaranteed $5,000 first place prize, $80 per team, plus one unwrapped toy to help the haul and Pickens County Toys for Tots. If you want to fish, give me a buzz, 678-283-6700. We will get you signed up. Okay, we will get you signed up. And again, I told you guys last night, McGuire and I are fishing together. So that we need to start throwing some side bets, little pot on the side action right there. Because you got to beat me and McGuire, right? You got to beat us. So I think it'd be fun. You guys get signed up. You're going to blast off in the order of which you sign up, right? And so if you want one of them early flights, you better go ahead and get signed up. If not, you're going to be like Team 100, and you're going to get out about 9 o'clock, right? How many boats in it so far? I don't know. I have to check. I don't have it in front of me. Uh, Danny, you've been bumping that Kodak Black. Listen, that was last night. I didn't even know who Kodak Black was. All right. What's up, Greg? So I went and I checked them out. It's not my kind of music. Definitely not my kind of music. Got nothing against rap music. Every once in a while, I'll get that little bump going on in here, but it's not my kind of music. And definitely not my kind of rap music. How about that? You guys make sure if you're watching, hey, give us a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Got a little information on the scroll going across the screen right there about becoming a member. The message says, I want to come fish the Toys for Tots tournament against y'all, but I have to find out the requirements coming from a different state. This is Georgia, man. They ain't no requirement. Bring your damn boat and come fish. That's the only requirement we have. We ain't one of them up north states. You got to make sure your boat is squashed and you don't bring any of the um, cooties from other water. At least I don't. I'm not aware of any. There might be some guys smarter than me that know. Skrilla by Kodak on tournament morning goes hard. I didn't check out Skrilla. I'll look at Skrilla. I'll try to figure it all out. I just listen. I was about 5 seconds into the video on YouTube, and I went, no, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. But anyway, last night, guys, hey, look, we had a great time with Tucker Smith. A great kid. Learned a lot. So we're going to talk about that. Also, too, a viewer hit me up. I didn't even realize that the MLF is on Wadawi right now. Did you guys know that? Weedawee is what I like to say, teasing Tony. What's up over there on TikTok? Tim took off the fish, so I can't. Otherwise, I'd throw some side action for fun. Hey, I got you. I got you. What's up? That Mr. Green Jeans will be happy to write me a ticket for fishing without a license. I can bet you that. Well, they're all. I guess they're there. I don't know. Mike sounds a little choppy on my end. Anyone else? Anybody have any problems with the mic? Do I sound choppy on your end? Been watching MLS this morning. It's the Scope Fest. That's kind of what I saw. I didn't even know there were fish in there. Let me know if it sounds a little choppy to any of the rest of you guys. Again, we're figuring this all out as we go. Choppy, a little. Okay, so let's try this. Let us try this. Let's take this out. Pop that in there. Make sure on the back side here. Ooh, I just lost my TikTok feed. How about now? How about now? We better? Sounds like a sinus infection. You guys help me out. I haven't done anything since last night, so it shouldn't be any different. Is that better for you guys? Okay, I unplugged the headphones. So probably what was happening is I was feeding back. So my bad. That's where we go. I unplugged the headphones. I know from now on to do that. Pardon me, guys. Pardon me. All you guys are going, yes, 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 yes. You want to start all over? We can start all over. You guys like the MLF stuff, honestly? 'Cause I was watching, you got Wheeler and Connell on a boat, I was watching them, and, they were catching fish one right after the other. Now you sound like you're underwater in the live well with the bass boat that's better. Jeremiah, well, listen, hey, it is what it is. I really other than plugging in the headphones from last night, I didn't do anything different. I just cut it on. So, anyway, sorry about that. But I was watching them catch fish over and over and over again, and I was like, "Okay, I mean, it's pretty impressive how quick they're catching all those fish, but do I like watching them catch a bunch of 1 pounders, 1.5 pounders, or do I like guys going for the top 5, for the 5 best fish?" What do you guys think? Honestly, and I'm not knocking it. I was just watching it, and, yeah, they were scoping, and they were doubling up, just boom, 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 but none of the fish they pulled up were impressive to me. And, if you like that, that's pretty cool. If that's what you like, I got no problems with it. It just didn't turn me on. You know what I'm saying? Just the format. The guy's absolutely got all the skill in the world, but just watching them catch those fish, I like the best 5 myself. Some of you guys are commenting right now, 5 best is a better format, but I like that they weigh and release their fish. Now that is something right there. I always like the weigh-ins, but I think if we were talking about fish care and all that, we could do away with the weigh-ins if we had to, but I still think the best 5 at the end of the day is what you go for. But hey, listen, there's no doubt that they could catch fish, right? They were absolutely just popping, throwing little minnow, and the only difference is now you had 2 of them in the boat up front, so you're looking at 2 butts instead of 1, but at least I will say this, the conversation between the anglers was very interesting. Listen to them talk and kinda, "Hey, get this, hey, that was interesting. I have to give them credit on that for sure. I think there's, like, 4 teams left or something like that, or there's 4 teams on. I don't know the exact setup, but I know that, Ken hit me, he goes, "Hey, you watching it?" Not Ken Pruitt, Ken Goins, and then I'm like, "Nah, I didn't even know what was going on." And I text Tony because that's on his lake, and I haven't got Tony hasn't hit me back. He's probably busy at work today. But I flipped it over and I watched it a little bit. And so, first time I've watched anything on Weedawee, watch anybody fish that lake, seems like it is loaded, absolutely loaded with 1-pound spotted bass. If you guys have fished that lake, let me know, because that's what I was watching them catch, and I'm sure there's other teams out there that maybe are doing something different, but that's what I was watching. Anybody can catch a lot of fish. It takes skill to find and catch those big girls. I guess so. Yeah, I saw the Instagram post that they were on, Wadowee. Before that, I had no idea it was coming up. Again, I didn't know it either. Seems like a version of Alatoona. Maybe so, maybe so. But I watched some of it. That's the first MLS stuff I have watched in quite a while. So, no doubt the guys can catch fish. No doubt they can catch fish. So, we'll go with that. Now, what I want to tell you, I had a couple things. Like I said, I didn't plan on talking about the MLF. That just popped up. That was not what I was gonna talk about today. Couple of things I wanted to know, and I wanted to know from you guys. I was sitting here thinking, and we'll get back to the fishing, but I was sitting here thinking this morning, I'm going through trying to get the show ready, looking at the news feeds and all that, and of course, everybody knows about the government shutdown. It doesn't matter what side I don't wanna know your politics on it. That's not what I'm after. What I wanna know is, has there been anything in your life that has been affected by it? Something that you have experienced that the government shutdown has caused you to experience it? Now, maybe you work and maybe you're having to work and not get a paycheck. I feel for those guys 100%, 100% feel for that. I'm just talking about the average guy. What's up, Cletus? The average guy, have you experienced anything in your life that has been affected by the shutdown? I'm just tired of the government existing at this point. Doesn't affect me none, but it's just annoying. I mean, I'm sure there's things that it does affect us kinda we don't realize, but for the most part, nothing in my daily life has been affected by it. Doc Holliday says no. I was just curious, because I was sitting here thinking, and I'm always thinking about you guys when we're sitting here. The airport got hit hard by the shutdown, can't really fly anywhere, so yes, okay, and okay, Fair enough with that right there, Jeremiah, I can see that. Fred says, "No, it's all a bunch of nonsense." Casey says, "Nope." Big Bait John, it shut down in the Army like when COVID hit, I think. They sent us to the field to train as long as they let me fish, I don't care. Okay, I got that. You were in the military when that was going on. I totally get it. Now, Coleman, we pay too much in taxes for Congress to not do their jobs and just go on recess. Yeah, listen, like I said, I get it. I get it. I just politics aside, I try to avoid politics like crazy, like the plague on this show. I'm just curious. What was the reason they overspent like crazy in previous years? I don't know. You give somebody some money, they wanna spend it, right? I guess the same thing we do when we go to Bass Pro or we go to Walmart. I go to Walmart for milk, right? And I leave $172 later, right? That's the way it works. Nope, wish they would shut down the Douglas County Tax Commission office. Yeah, for sure, I got that. I'm still paying taxes, so, how shut down are they really? Yeah, they're gonna get their money. 100% they're gonna get their money. Now, Patricia Ann Shaw says they shouldn't get paid either. Anybody who has a spouse or knows someone who is a government worker, I feel sorry for them. I said, that's see, Jeremiah, that's what I'm saying, like, for the most of us, we don't work for the government, and that's kinda what I was thinking. I know there's some of you guys out there that do, and again, 100% feel for you guys because you guys are having to deal with this, military, all air traffic controllers, everything like that. But for the most part, most of us don't, and that's why I was just curious. Is it even noticeable? If you didn't know that there was a government shutdown, would you know? I'm working at TVA right now, Seth Lee Huskins. Is TVA not government owned? I guess. Tennessee Valley, right? Is that I assume that's a state owned? I don't know. As long as the core ramps stay open, I'm like I said, I'm just curious. You wouldn't notice it all. And it's sad for those that are having to show up and they're not getting paychecks. I don't think that's right. The TVA is not government, Tyler Shelnut said. As long as the fish don't shut down, ain't affected. It affected me last Friday when the rest area was closed on my way to Kentucky, and I had a bladder full of coffee. Okay, little bitty things like that, I totally get. I totally get that for sure. TVA is like Georgia Power, a private company with government contracts. Fair enough right there, I get it. I was just curious. Like I said, I sit there, I always scroll through the Associated Press, I pull it up on the computer and I go down, and I see, government shutdown, all that stuff, and I don't really care about it at all. I'm just like, I wonder how many of my guys are affected by that. So again, I see that. I see where a couple Jeremiah, like at the airport, that makes sense. The rest areas. I don't know how it's affecting the lakes. I do know that when I was getting the, permit for the Toys for Tots and dealing with the guys over in Mobile, they said that it was gonna kinda affect some of the things that they did. When people don't get the November EBT, the riots and the looting will start. I hope not. Maybe not. Maybe not. And also too, guys, I got you guys on here. Let me read this, Tyler. I deleted all my news apps, tired of negativity constant popping up on my phone. I just wanna see fishing, the people that I like, and the weather. Look right here. I'm gonna help you out right here with the weather. Here's your weather forecast for Georgia the rest of the week. It is a highbrow weather report right there. Like Friday, 69, 51, partly cloudy. There you go. That's all you need. What's up, Justin? It pauses research at some universities because of grant funding. There you go. There's a way to affect somebody. I was at core office on Altitude Monday, and it was business as usual from what I saw. It should be, should be. People still gotta pay taxes with, uh, the IRS, though the IRS is shut down apparently. I'm sure there's, like there are the important people there, right? And what's up, Tony? Tony, did you know that, MLF was on Wedowee? Just curious. I sent you a text earlier about it. Does anyone know if Stamp Creek boat ramp is still open as far as I know it is? As I know it is. Now, we started this yesterday too. What's up, Mike Geiger? We gotta come up with a nickname for you guys, like a legitimate nickname that can stand the test of time. I'm being very serious about this because I would love to be able to come on and say, "So what's up, you," and say it with something that I can repeat it. Of course, something I can say in church. Don't wanna make it too bad, but you guys need a nickname, and so I'm gonna let you guys come up with that. Vashon says it's rut weather. 100%, dude. This cold weather, man, I got up this morning, I'm like, "Gosh, I wish I was in a deer stand." Got a little bit of wind going on, but yeah, it is about that time. The bucks are starting to show up on the cameras. A lot of guys have some big ones finally starting to show up. Finally starting to show up. The peanut gallery. Gotta be original. Come on. FNGO breakers. No FNGO on it. We gotta do something without FNGO. Long story, but take FNGO out of it. Yes, Stanton Creek is open. Sal Pinto put in there Saturday. The Nooners. The Nooners. Well, you guys also watch on you also watch on Tuesday and Thursday night, so it's gotta be something that covers everything. I just hope the cold brings my crappie and the stripers back around. Yeah, listen, that was nothing. What do you guys think about this cold weather? What's it gonna do to the fishing? As far as what you normally experience, right? You think that top water is gonna blow up right now or things like that? I get the stripers coming back up, the floaters, which is called Danny Pruitt and the floaters. Sounds like a bad band from back in the '60s. The Danny Knights. Listen, I don't want my name on any of it, okay? The Danny Knights. You gotta come up with the wacky riggers, Brian Farrell. Hey, maybe. What's up, wacky riggers? Listen, I told you guys when I was younger, I took speech. You know what I'm saying? So I would probably mess if I said wacky riggers fast, I would be absolutely blowing it up. I don't know about fishing, but it's gonna chafe my, nipples for sure. I could listen, I went out this morning, I coulda cut glass. I honestly coulda cut glass. The real ones, that's not bad. The baiters, possibly. Just don't say it fast. Have you heard me say anything slow? When I try to slow down, I feel uncomfortable because my talking is 122 miles an hour. I love it when somebody's foreign. I try to talk to them and they speak a little bit of English. Every time we go to Romania and I'm like, "Blah, blah, blah, blah," and they're like, Alan, we're not going there. We're not going there. I'll be on with Dowie doing a Wounded Warrior tournament Friday. Hope MLF don't stick all the fish. Well, if you're going to be out there scoping, it looks like Wheeler and Connell were. But I'm telling you, if you're doing a best of five, you don't want to fish anyway. You guys at TikTok too. Just casters or breakers. We'll come up with something. The live well and the bait fish. The bait club. Well, you know what? Listen, I mean, we have bite club. Bite club is what we've been calling the podcast guys. The bite club. We might have to ask Tim if we can just say, "Hey, you guys are the bite club." I want to get his permission first. And there ain't no way in the world we're gonna call it the ploppers, Patricia Leanne. You know better than that. Ain't nobody gonna be called the ploppers around. Steve Billington says 200 plus kayak anglers hitting Lake of the Ozarks on Saturday chasing $10,000 for big bass. I'm gonna send you some vibes up that way for sure. $10,000. It's just a one fish tournament. Is that what it is? Biggest bass wins all the money. Bait club's good. I like that. We'll figure that. Cast X12 braid disciples. That's what we'll call you guys the X12s. First rule is we don't talk about bite clubs. See, that's kind of what we say. We uh we actually will talk about a bait and we're like, this is bite club only stuff, guys. We try to give you guys everything, but every once in a while there's something that we fish with for a little bit before we let it out, right? Just before we let it out. And it's like that. I like bite club. I'm sure we can bully Tim so we can use the name. I think Tim would love it just because we're using his name. But Tim loves bite club. But yeah, every once in a while we say that. We don't talk about bite club. Now, wait, are we suggesting a name change from FNGO? Steve Billington, yes. Those kind of things you will see happening over the next couple weeks, and there's reasons why. The O-rings. Now listen, you're getting original with that. I know why you're saying it though. Yep, big bass is guaranteed $10,000. So, but here's what's funny. Now, I mean, Steve, when you're kayakers, right? And you say big bass, it's really longest bass, right? Can you truly say big bass? Are you weighing them or are you measuring them? So if you're measuring them and you're in a kayak tournament, that's got to be the longest bass. I know big bass sounds great, but is it not more proper just to say the longest bass? Unless you guys are weighing them, I'm curious. But $10,000 is a lot of dinero. 200 plus kayaks on that lake. And again, it's gonna be like anything else. Lake of the Ozarks. I have to call Michelle Fall with Digital Sportsman. She lives on Lake of the Ozarks and ask if she knows that this is happening on her lake. The people at Digital Sportsman are absolutely fantastic. You guys, I'm serious. This thing is getting up and running. Definitely, if you're a guide, dude, if you're a guide and you wanna be part of that, you need to hit me up. Let me help you get signed up with that. It's free. Now, there are things that you can upgrade to, but for the most part, it's free and it's gonna help your bookings. 100%. What they got going on is absolutely awesome. Yeah, we are going by length, but it'll probably take 20 plus inch to get a big bass, max 250 anglers. And I guess you guys can put in wherever, right? Is it one of those things where you can go to any ramp whatsoever and then just at a certain time start fishing? Is that the way it's set up? Because you guys like to make fun of me when I'm talking about electric only zoom offs. Could you imagine 200 and 250 kayakers at one ramp? And all of a sudden they go, let's go. It's just you get the orange Armada just taking off. Any paid, public or paid ramp. Gotcha. The dinks now, Tony, that's, that might be it. I'll just say, "Hey, guys, welcome to the lunch break, all you dinks." Some of you guys might not like that, though. You might not like it. You might get I don't wanna get your feelings hurt. Do they polygraph in kayak tournaments? Interesting question right there, Messick wants to know. So Steve Billington, "This one they will," he said. Tyler Shellnut, "Bent carrots." Well, what happens if we have a female that wants to be part of a bike club or whatever? Well, we can't say bent carrots. I mean, we could, they probably won't stay around that long. We could be the wacky danglers. You guys are all listen, you're doing really good playing off the wacky. I'll get that for sure. Block it, boys. There ain't no way in the world. Uh, Now Alex says long usually equals heavy. Maybe, maybe. I listen, I give you that. But you go, hey, we're having a big bass tournament. And if you don't tell them you don't tell them anything other than we're having a big bass tournament. And you say, hey, or do it this way. Hey, we had a big bass tournament on Latham. The first question that anybody's going to ask you is how much did it weigh? And you understand that. You know what I'm saying? They're going to say, what did it weigh? Oh no, I don't know. It was 22 inches long. Okay, so it's the longest bass. I'm just playing with you guys. You know I love you anyway. I'm just playing. National Scoper Association. John Aldridge says we use tarot cards. They are as reliable and as accurate as a polygraph. Probably just as admissible in court too, right, John? I wish I could show a picture of a 4 pound I caught. It was as long as a 6 pound should be. Yeah, Brian, and there's certain lakes, like I always tell the kayak guys, I tell them this, when they have one of these statewide tournaments here in Georgia that you can go on any lake whatsoever, and I get a kayak guy go, "Yeah, I'm gonna be fishing up at Lanier," and I'm like, "Why?" Because you're gonna catch you might catch this 5 pound spotted bass. He might be 18 inches long. I think the spot's gonna hurt you on that. And Alex says if it's 20 inches or over, I weigh them. So see, I get it, 100%. You should do that. Bass busters, worm wetters, bed wetters. Now John says I'm one of you kayak guys now, Danny. Look, I fished out of a kayak one time. I don't think you can classify me as a kayak guy. Right now I'm a John boat slash own a kayak guy, right? Um, I just feel like in a kayak tournament, there should definitely be one. Let's see. Let me read that again. I just feel like in a kayak tournament, there should definitely be one. Talking about polygraph, not saying y'all are cheap, but I'm sure there's some bad apples. And Steve's right. It's no different than any other tournament. I totally get that. Now, of course, the kayak guys do the things like the indicator and all that stuff. Need to do that, and there's some other rules. Problem with me is that one tournament I did for minnow shakers. That might be it. That might be it. I did sub in that 444, whatever the hell it was called, kayak thing one time. Nobody told me that there are ways to make it easier, but I remember, the bass had to have its mouth closed. You had to have it pinned up against the catch board or whatever you call it, measuring it. And I know it's the first time I ever done that. I struggled to get a bass to shut its mouth. You know what I'm saying? And then by the time I got my phone up, and again, I was discombobulated. It's the first time I ever done that. I was just proud I caught one. And I'm trying to do that. And I got his mouth finally shut. I got the phone up, got the indicator looking at it, and I'm like that. About the time that thing goes, well, bam, and it just shoots off the catch board and it's gone. So I didn't even get to weigh in that fish or measure that fish or enter that fish, whatever you're talking about. And then, of course, here's where you don't know what you're doing. I had the catch board sitting up on my knees. I had it up on my knees, and technically, those guys kinda angle it down, or they'll put a net right there. They got the net right here, so if the bass shoots off, it goes in the net. There's all these little tricks these guys failed to tell me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think they did it on purpose. They wanted me to experience what it was like. I will say, look, it was about a 2.5 pound spotted bass on Lake Lanier, and even setting the hook on that and fighting it, I could feel it kinda pulling me around, so it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. You gotta pet the bass and talk to it nice. If that doesn't work, you push on the butthole. Like, are you being serious? I'm being very seriously, Billington. Is that the trick? I need to know. Yeah, I told John Aldred, I said, "I might jump in a couple kayak tournaments. I might jump in a couple kayak tournaments that's coming up here just for fun. I'm gonna get my butt handed to me, but I think it'd be fun." He said, "Serious as all get out. So if you can't get your bass on your catch board to close its mouth, you basically poke it in the bunghole, and it will shut its mouth, and you can measure it." Do I have that technique down correctly? You definitely gotta sweet talk 'em, but you gotta poke 'em in the bunghole, huh? King Joey's going back to work. The scoper's just for cranking and yanking. Boy, that would make him mad. Takes the fight right out of him. Wouldn't it take the fight right out of me too? I don't know that I'd shut my mouth though. I think I might be screaming. Some of you guys might like that. It's not me. There's no Brokeback Mountain here. Feels like that's a crime or something. Don't it seriously. Like, I hope nobody from PETA is watching. They're gonna be like, "Yeah, good grief, those guys over there on the lunch break podcast are talking about doing bad things to fish." What are they talking about doing? They're poking them in the butt with their fingers. You kayak guys are kinky. Listen, I get it. That might be what Steve does, but I ain't doing that to a bass, Alex said for sure. Even a tickle is wrong. He goes, "I didn't say you needed to insert anything. You just gotta give 'em a little rub, a little poke, right? Just a little tickle. That's all you're doing. Just giving them a little tickle." These kayak guys are obsessed with inches and poking. Yeah, for sure. Now, Danny, do you go knuckle deep when you poke when doing the dolphin is let me read that again because I wanna make sure I can read that before I go 'cause I think you're going at me right here. Pushing on let's see, pushing on that is called the dolphin. Instantly, his head pops up and he says, Danny, do you go knuckle deep when you, poke his butt? You ain't checking for COVID." No, listen, COVID's different, right? Kyle T said, "That's called the rusty hook method on TikTok." There you go. I got me a comment on TikTok. And listen, I don't know if knuckle deep is safe. Knuckle deep is TikTok safe. I'm sure it is. I've said it. They ain't shut it down yet. Uh, Pressure on the O-ring. Don't go, I meant what John said. Don't go knuckle deep is what he's saying. You guys got listen, you gotta type it right the first time because I'm gonna read it. But I didn't know that's what it was called. It was called doing the dolphin. Tony, I wanna know, I just got a question. How did you know it was called the dolphin? And who the hell named it that? Again, like everything, there was a first time for everything. Somebody said, "Hey, we're gonna poke this bass in the butt and we're gonna call it the dolphin." Again, I didn't have this on my bingo card today about talking like this. I just call it a typical Tuesday, right? Knuckle deep, you'll find some crawfish, very much. No wonder the fish don't bite no more. These kayak guys are out here doing that. Uh, the Jerry Sandusky's are the best. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Yeah, I didn't have this. This was not like I wrote down a couple thoughts, and generally, when the show starts, we just fly by whatever goes, right? Didn't have this conversation, uh, didn't have it on my bingo card today. But I if it is a legit way to get a bass to shut its mouth so that you can measure it on the catch board, I'll try it. There's websites for that kinda stuff. It sounds like it's something that he's done before. And I don't know if maybe that needs to be put in the rules to protect the fish. We're all about fish care, right? Probably why the fish are fighting so hard when you catch them. You traumatized them with a COVID check. That's what you guys should be named, the COVID checks. Yeah. Alright, what's going on, COVID checks? How you guys doing out there? Because you guys all know you've done it once or twice. Gotta check them for the bass flu, for sure. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Guys out there on TikTok, I don't know if you understand what we're talking about, but, what I've been told by one of my kayak buddies over here on YouTube is, trying to measure a bass and, the rules of kayaks state a lot of them state the mouth has to be closed up against the catch board, and if he doesn't close his mouth, you just give him a little tickle on the backside. Is that the nice way to put it? Steve said, "I saw a lot of alien abductions on TV as a kid." Is what it is, man. Hey, listen, this is a no judgment zone. Ain't no judgment zone. Let's transition, though. Let's transition. What did you guys think about, T-Dub Bates? How y'all doing? We're doing good, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Uh, Gooch tickle. Maybe that's what you guys should be, the gooch ticklers. Um, it's not from the bass world, but if she's not expecting it, she sounds like a dolphin. Tony Collum. Got you now. Okay, I got you. Oh, it's not me, it's who I hang around. I wonder why these spots are so pissed off all the time. It's the prostate exam the kayakers have been giving them. I'm telling you. Let's get off the prostate exams for fish, all right? Let's get off of that. We'll run off everybody if we keep doing that. What did you guys think about Tucker Smith last night? Seriously, what did you think about some of the things that he said? I find it interesting that he was able to fish with Aaron Martens, and we kinda talked about that after he went off last night. Being blessed to have somebody of that caliber that you get to fish with. On another note, Tucker was really cool. Yeah, that's the first conversation that I've had with Tucker other than text. I saw him at, I think it was iCast or something, one of those shows. Of course, you get a hello, but that was it. So that's the first time. But with Emil and Paul and all them, and more so Emil than anything, you kinda get to know these guys through even their stories. Because I knew Emil and all them roomed together. It was pretty cool hearing him say, you don't think about this, that, what was the one fella from California? The one guy, he's the responsible one, and Tucker and Paul and Emil are kind of the lazy ones. They don't wanna get up on tournament day. I wouldn't be able to sleep. I guess you have to. I'm sure they get used to it. It was a great show last night. It was absolutely a great show. Loberg, there you go. What did you guys think about the way it looked? Yeah, he's the one from Cali. What did you guys think about the way it looked? I actually had some people text me and say they actually liked the way last night's show went better than the old style because you could see everybody's faces at the same time. And so anytime anybody had a reaction or anything like that, there was no camera switching going on. So give me some feedback as well on that, what you guys thought. Now, again, I did, uh, Clint was startlingly close, startling, startling. He spooked you. Uh, Need to check Tucker's mock gummies. He was giggling a lot. That's why I didn't take, yeah, that's what I was saying. He was pretty chill, especially after winning that much money. You'd have to chase me down to get an interview. You be one of those guys, John G? But Tony said, "Y'all said it looked good. You liked it." That was, I had several people hit me up after the show saying, "Hey, look, you guys need to do it that way." And, we'll figure it out. You always, anytime you change something, you don't know how people are gonna receive it. People get used to things. All you guys get used to that, and somebody changes something, and you're like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." Even with this, doing the one thing, I mean, just even the background and doing it at my home. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was nervous as hell. I told the guys the other day. Participation seemed as high as ever. That was my favorite part. Yeah, and I don't think that will change. I don't think that will change as long as we continue doing it. Uh, John will be out behind him in new Trans Am. Jeremiah, when did the live show start with this new setup? I haven't seen one in weeks, so this is all very sudden. Well, I'm not gonna tell you because you ain't been watching it, Jeremiah. I'm not gonna tell you. Need to be watching to find out what's going on. Nah, just some stuff going on with the company. Uh, Little split going on, and we're gonna have to do it this way for a while. No, nothing bad, nothing bad. Just kinda business, right? We need Clint to do a goatee shaving tutorial when you open back up the guide channel. Like, Clint, that's the only thing he can grow. He can't even grow a beard. Goatee's the only thing he's got going for him. Like, I'm being very serious. I even asked him last night before the show, "Can you even grow a full beard?" He goes, "No, man." And that can be a good thing or a bad thing, depends on how you look at it. I like the way he doesn't harp on tournament regardless of the outcome. He just dialed in with fishing. That's said, "That's about Tucker." Yeah, now he seemed like he's one of those people that got that it factor, right? And Emil kinda talked about it when he was on the show the last time. It was when we were talking about what he would do and why certain people are better and all that, and he said, you know, "You got the love of fish and time on the water." He goes, "But" oh, no, he was talking about time on the water. But he said, "Yeah, even though at the end of the day, you gotta have that it factor, that love, that want, that drive," and Tucker's got that. And a lot of these younger guys got that. I think that's what pisses a lot of the older anglers off. I think the drive and the work ethic that a lot of these kids got, plus the information that's out there and everything, I just think they live it 100%, right? Emil probably, Tucker, I could see Paul. Of course, Paul likes to hunt, so he can throw the hunting in there and everything. But I could see them thinking about waking up in the morning like, "How am I gonna catch a fish today?" No matter where they're going, "How am I gonna catch a fish?" He was up on what, St. Clair yesterday fishing, took some family up there. He just won $500,000, right? He can chill for a little bit. "Now let's go fishing." I'd like to see a tour of the house. I'm gonna get a bunch of them on. I'm gonna get them all together. Howard Stern does everything remote these days. Yeah, the only thing, oh, Cam says, "Now y'all can have as many podcast sodas as y'all want and not worry about getting home too." Trust me, took advantage of that last night. Guys, I was not even wearing pants. Like, seriously, I was not even wearing pants. I did that entire show last night with a shirt and a pair of boxers. The guys knew about it before. Uh, Rusty, best way to catch a spot this time of year? What lake? What's up, E-Limited Fish? What lake are you fishing? And we'll go from there. Yeah, it was the first, you know, first underwear episode for sure. I'd like to let's see, I think Tucker said he liked the duck hunt too when he was on Mercer, which is an inferior show, by the way. Ah, now listen, we ain't gonna go there. And listen, some of them guys have to stay within the constraints of their show. The one cool thing about our show is you guys really run it. I like to tell everybody, I like to Alatoona. Okay, you guys in real quick, you guys in the comment section, what's the best way to catch a spot on Alatoona right now? And then I'll give my answer too, but I wanna hear what you guys have to say. The difference between our show and everybody else's is they're really good, but you guys actually get through me, you actually get to converse with the guest. That's what it's all about. You guys get to be with your comments, even though I read them and I say it, it's really you talking to Tucker Smith. And that's why I think we're different, and that's why I like it, and that's what we're never gonna change. Now, best way to catch a spot on Alatoona is with a fishing pole, old Clayton said, for sure. There you go, coming out with the juice right there, coming out with the juice. Now, he says a big spot. I got underspin has been working on Alatoona, some fish are shallow, shaky head or a jig. Doug can't get me in my, boxers out of his head right now. No dolphin stuff going on here. Best way to catch a spot right now, swim bait, finesse worm, top water, or crankbait, take your pick, whatever you like doing. Only there, my choices would be different, though. This is Alatoona. How far down is Alatoona right now? Texas rig, I see that too. I mean, if I were going tomorrow, I honestly might try what Tony likes to do. Something a little bit different. Normally, I would tell you I would go throw a shaky head or worms, something. I think with the way Alatoona is being drawn down, a lot of exposed rock and everything, I think I would take a jerk bait and I would throw it up as shallow as I could. Now, Tony likes to work it fast at hitting the rocks, almost like you're doing a rock crawler. And I've gotten to where I like reeling my jerk baits more so than actually jerking them. I think Tony jerks them more than I do. But I think just to try something different and try to get a big spot or a big largemouth, I think I might try a jerk bait, but jerking it a little bit different. You can catch fish on everything anybody is saying. This Saturday when I'm in the kayak filming, you best believe as I, put fish on it. Oh my gosh, Steve, he's gonna be filming his fish Saturday. He's gonna say, "About to give her the old dolphin." Do that, I'd like to see that. Allatoona, Carolina rig with a 4-inch worm, and I bet that worm would be watermelon red flake because everybody I talk to on Lake Allatoona throws a watermelon red flake lizard. But I think I would try this. I'm trying the, 1/4 ounce chatterbait. That's a good one. I think just something a little different, right? Just something to kinda change it up a little bit. Team Hancock, late to the party, had to get the stitches out of my back, and I get more in my neck in a couple weeks and a few in my mouth just for good measure. Still rehabbing the knee. Damn, Tim. Yeah. Y'all need to pray for him. He got a lot of stuff going on right there. Now, Casey Weaver, let's help him out. Everybody, I want y'all to come together. Let's help this guy out. I've been struggling this month with fishing. I've tried Senkos, topwater, flukes, jigs, glides, Texas rigs, etc. How can I find bass on new and on my regular lakes and ponds? Okay, and Casey, safe to say, is this a lot of this from the bank? Fishing Lanier and Cedar Creek Reservoir mostly from the bank. Right now, guys, if you were fishing from the bank on Lake Lanier, let's just say Allatoona or any lake, any big reservoir, or you got access to some farm ponds, what would you do right now to put fish, can't say in the boat, but just on the bank? Um, Tyler, it's a little bit of everything. Go with the Highland reservoirs, though. Cedar Creek is an electric only lake over in Hall County. It's very clear. It used to be. Lipless crankbait is what E-Living the Fish suggested. Jesse Millsap said to target red clay banks. I agree with that. I do that with a rock crawler. I know it's got rock in the name, and you can do that, but I like red clay banks as well with that. I actually, when I do throw a rock crawler on Lanier, I will catch more spotted bass on the rocks, the points, the reef markers, those kind of things. I will actually catch more largemouth on a red clay bank. Not always, but more than what normally I would. A 3/8 underspin with a 3/0 hook and an MRE from Tactical Fishing, color sight flash. Fish structure. I've noticed a lot of fish here are on rocks, but I'm sure you can take them with a Ned rig. I don't throw the Ned like I used to. I used to throw a Ned rig all the time. Ricky Moore says, "Look for shad and cover a lot of water. Shaky head with a trick worm. With a pond, excuse me, with a pond, I'd throw a black and blue jig with a green pumpkin crawl." Those are all good things. I think the biggest thing though, Casey, what do you have the most confidence in throwing? Do you catch the majority of your fish when you do catch them on a worm? Then let's see if we can, you know, work on that. If you like throwing moving baits, the biggest thing is what do you like to throw? Because we could give you 152 different baits, but if you hate throwing one, we can kind of put that down and get something that you really like. Is Keith Poche out of the BPT? I don't know. I haven't looked. I know that didn't they announce their 51 anglers? Didn't that just come out yesterday? Or I saw something about it. Maybe it's been out. That Ned and the buzzbait won me over $1,000 this past weekend. I used to throw a Ned a lot. Probably need to get back to it. Fishing on Lanier on the bank, I would throw. Okay, Jeremiah says I would know all about this. Matt Brown on TikTok said yes, he's out. Yes, he is out. Appreciate you letting us know that. Like I said, I hadn't seen the list. Uh, Only 2 things you need on Lake Lanier: a finesse worm and a crankbait, a little swim bait or a football jig if they're deep. And that's from Jeremiah, and he fishes from the bank a lot. I would agree with those something that works for you. You really can throw anything right now. Now, skin cancer ain't nothing to play with, guys. This is Tim Hancock. Oh, also, too, real quick before I do that, as well, Andy Morgan is out as well too. Matt Brown on TikTok let us know that. So, uh, thank you for doing that. Andy Morgan and O'Shea are out. Tim has skin cancer, it ain't nothing to play with. Cover up and wear sunscreen, it'll bite you on the ass when you get older. So there you go, guys. Somebody's out there all the time letting you know. Take care of that skin. Take care of your eyes too. Take care of your eyes. A lot of people don't do that. I mean, you put sunglasses on, all that. I remember Chipper Jones being asked about by parents what's the best thing that they could do for their kid, playing travel ball, best piece of equipment, advice, or whatever. And Chipper Jones' first thing was quality sunglasses because their eyes are the only thing they got to see the ball. And if they're looking up at the sun and all that, all the brightness and all that, by the time they get a little bit older, their eyes are deteriorating a little bit. Now, I know he's talking about skin cancer, but I just remember Chipper Jones talking about the sun and your eyes. So protect your eyes too. Danny, have you heard a lot of guys having problems with their Garmin LiveScope? I have not, but what about you guys out there? Are you hearing anything about the Garmin LiveScope? Any of the guys having problems with it? It doesn't seem like it's come up a lot on the conversations. It really doesn't seem like it's come up a lot lately. That's not to say it's not happening. Good polarized glasses for sure, Tim Hancock said. Casey says, I appreciate the tips, guys. Jigs, chatterbaits, spinnerbaits, and swim jigs. That's what he likes to throw. That's what he likes to throw. You know, I don't know. They should be up they should be coming up pretty shallow, Casey. You shouldn't have a problem with it. Messick said, "My Garmin scope is not working at all. Hopefully sending it off today." Tyler said, "Garmin forums have been blowing up. People's transducers have been dying out, but it's probably a timing thing since the newest transducers are getting older. So they're probably a little bit old and they're like Tim up there. They're breaking down, right?" And he says yes over there. Um, you guys spend a lot of time on forums and stuff like that. I don't do that. I don't have time. I keep up with you guys. That's the only way I know these things are going on. Maybe just had bad luck. Casey, maybe, but I would keep throwing what you're throwing. I might. One thing I'm looking at what you were throwing, I might switch up to a worm a little bit. Throw a wacky worm, dude. If you're on the bank, throw it there and just work it out 10, 15 degrees every cast. Uh, After the update I just did, it looked more fuzzy. So Coleman just did a Garmin update. Is that what you're saying? And it looked fuzzy. Casey, try a drop shot too. Living the fish said, try a drop shot, casting the drop shot out. I'm going to do a video later on today. I'm going to record one on a little drop shot tip that guy sent me, and we're going to see what people think about it. Is Andy Morgan going to the NPFL? I do not know. I don't know that. Okay, so Coleman did the Garmin update this past weekend. Tim Hancock says, good old flashers. I don't think they ever die. The one on my boat has been there for 35 years. 35 years. That's crazy. But yeah, some things are made to last, right? And if it was made for 35 years ago, it was made to last. If you bought that same flasher now, it'd probably go 6 months and it would need an update. You know what I'm saying? Um, how long we go? We're almost about an hour. I'm gonna try to start getting these things a little shorter for you guys because I know you go back to work. I tried a wacky recently and no luck, but I'd love to try a drop shot. It always gets snagged. Hmm. Now, Fred Ashcraft said Andy Morgan and Luke Clausen. They're going to the NPFL. Is that what you're saying, Fred? You heard that? Casey, if you're throwing a worm or a jig, then maybe slow down and let it sit between bumps. I didn't realize it when I first got into bass fishing that I was working on way too fast. And Matt Brown says he is. Yeah. Again, Bill Payne. Think Bill Payne. If you think you're going slow, slow it down. Cool new background, traveling fisherman. Yeah, I'm just in my house. I'm in my house. I guarantee none of us want to go back to work. I get it. I get it. I'm at work right now. They both made videos, Fred Ashcraft said. So for sure. For sure. Now, traveling fisherman, I'm gonna get in touch with you because I'm gonna start recording, doing some pre-recorded interviews and stuff for our channel, and I wanna do one with you. So I know I got your phone number. I'm gonna reach out to you, see if I can work it in your schedule when you're off the water. I'd like to start introducing our North Georgia boys to all you guys out there across the country because we all it's just like Kendra being up in Michigan. I told her last night I was gonna do one with her too. My scope just went out around the time everybody else's did. It was random, but I can't see docks and brush piles, and my scope will not go out past 25 foot looking forward. But it made me feel good to win without it. Hey, 100%, dude. 100%. Tim Hancock said, "I have several old flashers, Humminbird Super 60s and the Eagle Silent 60 NIB." When you say NIB, you talking about new in box? Let's see, Cliff Crochet, I guess, is he going to the NPFL? I don't know what your comment is right there with that, so it's gonna be interesting. I do know the NPFL just opened it up for applications, so if any of you guys are of good standing in the public, you got the boat, you can go fish and the doe, you can go fish with them. Hello from Colorado, Jeff Edwards. How you doing, buddy? How are you? Appreciate you joining us. Just here to shoot the bull, right? Tim has one new in box. What is the Eagle Silent 60 new in box worth today? Does it go up in value? Is it a collectible? I think that'd be pretty interesting. Like to have like a real flasher. I know you can get flashers on like the new units and all that, but I don't think it's the same. That's just me. We'll figure you guys, the Marble Hill gang, you guys seriously think about overnight, actually put some thought into it, and we'll put it out to a vote. You guys can you guys can choose your own nickname. And again, it can't be low lifers or anything like that. Those transducers are fragile, gotta keep them protected. Don't bump them into stuff, keep them covered, and if it's on your trolling motor, be gentle when stowing and deploying it. And there's Spardog. Come on, hit that like button, please, Spardog said. Spardog, people were asking about you last night. Somebody said, "Where's Spardog?" And Alex Purr says, "Traveling fisherman is a good dude." He's pretty cool. I like watching his stuff on TikTok. I think he'll be an interesting interview. You guys are gonna see a lot more of the interview style things coming and a little how-tos. Um, Don Father, I'm still using a first generation 5-inch 8 HDS. Hey, if it works, it works, right? If it works, it works. So, all right, guys. Danny, why are you doing this from the home? I must have missed. Okay, I'll give you the story one more time. So, the shop is closing down, and Josh and I are kind of splitting the company up. No hard feelings, no animosity, no nothing. It's just kind of the time to do it. So, podcast stuff not being at the shop for right now. We're doing it here at everybody's home, and the guys are remoting in. We are looking. I'll probably continue to do the lunch break here. We are looking at putting together a studio at Clint's house for the Tuesday and Thursday night show. So, just for right now, this is what it is. But again, it's just a little business, nothing bad at all. Nothing bad at all. Alex, the traveling customer, said he appreciates that compliment. So, but that's why, and I probably need to put something out on the page to let people know because a lot of people don't know. For some reason, I just act like everybody watches this, and I know they don't. Like everybody should know, but I know they don't. But that's why. That's why. Um, Tim says one thing I want to do: run a stretch of water with my Garmin running and video it, and running the same stretch of water with the flasher run and video both of them and compare it. I think that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Jeff Edwards. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. This is awesome. I need a shipping address to send you that 1980s Ryobi reel that I just gave new life to. Remember you saying it was the first reel you ever bought with your own money. It's ready for you. No charge or anything. Just want to give a cool gift. Dude, dude, that is awesome. I'm going to type it in the comment section real quick. Okay. Shop will not be opening back up, at least in that location. Just go ahead and answer that. Let me type in my address here. Uh, Danny Pruitt. Again, it's hard when you have to do all this stuff by yourself. This is why Tony and Alex and all them are so dynamic. You hear my fingers typing? There you go. Right there. Dude, I'll show that thing off if you send that to me. That is awesome. Ryobi was my first freshwater reel too. I bought mine at the Kmart. Incoming. Incoming. I remember. But, Jeff Edwards, that would be like I would cherish that thing. That would listen, it would go right here with my front and center. I would put it on display. When's the last time you guys seen one of this? This is a Bantam 400. I actually had a guy come in and give me that. Just a customer came in and he gave me that. You guys out there on TikTok. And at one point in time, this was, I the technology. This was like top, one of the top of the line reels back in the day, right? Shimano. But I was holding it. I mean, look at the size of the spool and everything. So I was actually doing this yesterday. This is one of the new Elite, hold it right, Danny. Elite JC Elite reels, right? Compared to this one, the old Shimano. And I can tell you right now, this one's a lot lighter. But I was just like, just look at the way. I got this one backwards. Just the difference in how things are done today and everything. I mean, still the same premise, but this was big stuff back then. Um, Ryobi was okay. Watching Jerry McInnes and Fishing Hole show back then as well. I get it. My PB largemouth came off a Bantam 200. I had 3 Bantam 200s. And, hey, listen, Mike, don't worry. We're gonna do, like, some stuff out and about, some get-togethers and all that. I imagine flipping laydowns with that big reel. I mean, listen, it's a hoss. A guy brought this into the shop, guys. This is how I got this. He brought in, like, 5 or 6 rod and reels, and all of them but one were spinning reels, and he said, "Hey, can you clean these reels up for me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't do reel repair, but I mean, I can take them apart, grease them, and wash them down and clean them for you." He said, "Yeah, do that." He goes, "You see that silver one right there?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I ain't never gonna throw that thing. I don't even know how to throw it. You want it?" And I said, "What do you mean? How much you want for it?" He goes, "No, no, you can have it." He just gave it to me, and I thought that was awesome. So now it's on my collectible, and this oh, shit, and this is actually the one I actually learned how to cast, 6,500 Avery Garcia. I can't cast this for crap. I still can't remember, but I still got it like that. And then my grandfather had one of them old red ones. But yeah, old press button right there, just let it go. Couldn't throw about 22 feet, right? Anyway, you probably also too, Jeremiah, no, the online store is gonna be rebuilt, and I will be carrying salty worms there. I will do that. You probably noticed I picked it up and looked at it the other day in the shop. That thing's a beast. Cam, yeah, it is. Pretty neat, ain't it? And, again, back to flipping there. Let me see if I missed there. Tim, I still have my first bait caster, an Ambassador 5500C, still use it today, 40 plus years old. And I mean, listen, these things were made different. They were just made different. They're made to last for sure. If you take care of them, I like the Maiden's Feeding right there on the side of it. I think it's pretty cool. But I would love to get my hands on one of them older Iobies. Good grief, I haven't seen one of those in forever. But that would be absolute Jeff Edwards. That would be amazing. Hold on a second, I do my puzzle piece here. Oh, good gosh. TikTok, why it wants to do all these things? And if you don't get the puzzle piece in there exactly right, I got my wife here to do it for me. Um, but anyway, yeah, I already done that. So, I tell you what, guys, going about an hour. I think we're gonna call it a day. I actually got a boatload of jigs. I'm trying to see if I can get out and go to Hickory Log with Big Bait John this afternoon. I would love to do that. We're going to see if I can do that. I'll find out here in a little bit. And if that's the case, we'll talk to you tomorrow um, about what we saw. I'm sure he's going to go out there and throw a big swim bait. So hopefully we can make it work. Danny, you like to play with old Zebcos? Brian Cannon? Yeah. I probably caught more fish on a Zebco 33, like the kind that have that you had to use a screwdriver or a penny to take apart. You know what I'm saying? I love old Zebcos. My dad wouldn't fish with nothing but a Zebco 33. And that's the kind of thing that's why I feel like I reel right-handed on everything. I don't do the switch like a lot of guys because all I ever threw growing up was Zebco 33s. Now, how's the weather out there? It's nice and cool, got a little bit of wind. And we are gonna put together a local fishing day. So anyway, with that, guys, listen, I'm gonna head out of here. Appreciate you guys joining me. I will be posting tomorrow on lunch break, of course, it's whatever the hell I wake up and we want to talk about. But tomorrow night I will be posting our guests. I'm working on a couple of them. Got to make sure they can come in. But you guys be good. It's hump day again. The weekend's in sight. We're almost there. Just be safe out there because I want to see you guys again tomorrow. So you guys be good. And man, I'm looking forward to that road. Real. and I'm not gonna give anybody the dolphin. We'll see you guys.